Hey, what's up, guys? How are you all doing? So I haven't been around for a couple of weeks because I had a really weird episode where I went really, really sick for a while. So basically, what happened was after I saw the neurologist, which is when I last spoke to you, I was put up to dipyramate 200 milligrams a day slowly, and I think I started that on the 28th of December. I went up to the 200 milligrams, and that was fine. So it really did stop most of my headaches, but I was still getting like the aura symptoms around the migraine headaches. Um, and then, so rewind a little bit back to September, I've started getting like weird recurring UTIs. So now I'm going to have an ultrasound of my bladder and kidneys um, next week, which will be fun. Next Thursday, I think. And that's to check that everything's working there because I was bleeding when passing urine and stuff. Still have a lot of pain when passing urine. I've had 3 lots of antibiotics by this point, which is fun, not fun. And yeah, so basically, what happened the other day was just after New Year, I started feeling really, really strange. Started feeling like I'd had the injections at the dentist, like the lidocaine injections, and my face was really numb, so I could feel like the meat on my head, so like the muscles and things, but I couldn't feel the skin, if that makes sense. Um, so I sort of, tried to rest and, tried to sort myself out, the way I normally would with a migraine. Um, I have had hemiplegic migraines before, which are the migraines that make you kind of seem like you've had a stroke. You can't speak properly and you have like one side of your body is weak. I have had a couple of those before, but so I just assumed it was something like that. And so I waited a couple of days and just sort of tried to convalesce and, spent the whole time in bed, which is really, really difficult for someone like me who's quite a busy person. So yeah, basically, and then it got to like day 4, 5, and my husband was like, "You really need to go to A&E," because he'd phoned me on his way home from work, and I was just like, oh, I couldn't speak, so I had like dysphasia, and basically I was really ataxic. I couldn't really walk properly, kept bumping into things, kept falling over. I fell over 2 days ago. So basically, I had no strength in my left leg and no strength in my left arm. I kept like dropping things. So it was basically like I'd had a stroke. I went to A&E, which was really fun. If you've ever seen the film Crazies, the bit where they're like testing everyone for the virus, that's what it felt like going to A&E. And my husband wasn't allowed to go in with me, so I had to go in by myself. And yeah, trying to explain to somebody what's wrong with you when you can't actually speak properly. Because, like, I mean, obviously I do, I'm a linguist, so I study languages. My ability to sort of put words in the same language together just completely went out the window. I mean, I'm still not quite right now, and it's been 2 weeks. So, I was at A&E for like 5, 6 hours. They decided, they did a full set of bloods, they did ECG, what else did they do? Oh, they did like strength tests, neurological tests. They decided that there wasn't anything particularly wrong. So I'm keeping an eye on the time because I have to go to a meeting in a minute. So they decided there wasn't anything sort of obviously wrong. They kind of wanted to keep me in, but they were like, well, with COVID, it's kind of a bit risky. The MRI scanners were shut because it was like the middle of the night by the time I got seen, even though I'd gone there like in the evening. And they didn't want to put me in a CT scanner because they were like, well, you're not really going to see much on a CT. And why does this keep ringing? I don't even care. It keeps telling me to breathe, and I'm like, I am breathing. So they were like, oh yeah, a CT would not really. What now? Keeps buzzing. A CT would not really show up anything that they'd be looking for. So they decided that it wasn't a stroke that I was having, and it seemed to have been improving while I was in A&E. Probably because I had to be like really on the ball, like had to listen out for my name and like not fall asleep and stuff. So yeah, they sent me home. So I got home at like 2 in the morning, having had like umpteen million blood tests and all of that. And they decided that it was a hemiplegic migraine. I haven't actually read the discharge letter from A&E because it's gone to my GP and for some reason I can't read it. We have like a weird portal thing that we can look up our GP stuff, but my GP surgery is just merged with another surgery and everything's all up in the air, so we can't really. Anyway, the point being, they decided that the topiramate might have been causing the problem, so they said, like, go home, phone your GP, get an appointment with the GP, speak to GP about it, speak to GP about your medication, and get an MRI referral. Excuse me. Hiccups. So yeah, I phoned the GP. It took me 3 days to get through to the GP because of the problems. But when I did get through to the GP was amazing. And I ended up being taken off the topiramate completely. I had already dropped it down after speaking to the doctors at A&E. I was like, I think that maybe I'm going to drop the topiramate down and see if that's what's causing the problem with the neurological function. So I dropped it back down to 150. And I spoke to my GP, so this was like 5 days after I went to A&E. And I dropped it down to 150. And the GP had to phone in neurology. Anyway, turns out that neurology had already asked for an MRI, even though they said they didn't want me to have an MRI. So I'm going to be having an MRI with contrast to look at my pituitary and my brain. And they agreed. So basically, they all agreed that maybe the topiramate was causing the neurological dysfunction. So I have come off topiramate completely. I had a big sort of drop down over the course of 3 or 4 days. So I just went from 150 to 100 to 50 and then off. So they've put me now on melatonin, which they use it's like a sleep hormone, and they use it in autistic children and adolescents to help them sleep, basically. Because the circadian rhythm gets messed up, and with cluster headaches, your circadian rhythm gets messed up. So they've put me on that. So far, I've had 2 really bad migraines. I've had the numbness in my face and in my left side of my body still. So I don't think it was the topiramate that was causing that. I think it's nearly 2 weeks now that I've been off the topiramate. No, it would have been maybe a week that I've been off the topiramate. So I've just got to wait and see, basically, another week maybe, and just see if the sort of numbness and stuff goes away. And then if it doesn't, I'll have to ring the GP again. So current plan of action for me, I guess, is to have the ultrasound of my urinary tract, which is fun, and the MRI. So that's all within the next 2 weeks. I have got the injections that the neurology were talking about, but I don't know how to sort that out, and my concentration levels are really crap. So my husband has had to take time off work because I'm just completely useless at anything at the minute. Can't even crochet anything without messing it up, and basically can't really do anything for myself at the minute. I'm just completely zombified. I don't know if it's brain fog or I can't concentrate. I can't read things. Yesterday was really bad. The day before was really, really bad. I couldn't even concentrate on what I was trying to focus on. Even doing things like Duolingo was too difficult for me. So yeah, I am struggling quite a bit at the moment. It's just finding a balance of what is going to work and actually finding out what the hell is actually going on with my neurological function. So yeah, I have got a family history of brain tumours and I've got a family history of migraine. So hopefully it would be the latter and not the former. But we'll see. And I've just got to carry on going through. I'll kind of update you guys as I go along, but to be honest, my life has been extremely boring, so there's not been much to actually update because I've been laying in bed constantly. So you probably don't want to hear me talk about how I've laid in bed constantly and I can't concentrate on anything. And yeah, it's just not very there's just not a lot to report because basically I've been having duvet days and watching Disney films, and I can't even follow the Disney films half the time. So it's just a waiting game to see if my cognition and neurological function improve over the weeks that I've come off the topiramate, or whether it is still difficult to do anything. So yeah, basically I can't think, and my head's not working, my brain does not work at all. So yeah, I'm just just plodding along and trying to get through each day as it comes, watching a lot of Netflix, but it's really annoying at the moment because everyone's at home. Netflix keeps buffering and it's like, other people go away, go back to work. So yeah, the neurologist did say, I was going to mention this, that masks may actually cause problems with me because of my facial sensitivity. One of the other things that I'm finding really, really difficult is, like, obviously my body's wanting me to sleep a lot, but I'm finding it really uncomfortable to lay down. Like, my head feels extremely heavy. And so, I don't know. Please excuse me yawning. Oh, when you've been whacked with a whole load of sleep hormones, you're going to yawn all the time. So my current plan of action is trying to have a routine, so I'm waking myself up at 8 o'clock every day and trying to go to bed at similar time every day, and just sort of anchoring my day to 8 o'clock in the morning and try to exercise. So we've been going out for a walk every day, but the other day I fell over, so we not yesterday, the day before. So we were like, okay, right, we'll go for a walk, blah, blah, blah. And then 10 seconds into the walk, I fell over in a massive puddle of mud. It was awful. Because the wind blew me, and because I have no balance, I just went, whoa. And so we're just trying to walk every day and do other exercises on the days where it's really bad weather. We didn't go out for a walk yesterday because Storm Christoph is around. Trying to eat healthily. Just trying to do the general things that you do to try and keep yourself healthy, I guess. It's a bit frustrating, but I'll get there eventually, I hope. Anyway, I've been rambling on at you for nearly a quarter of an hour now, so I'm going to head off and I will be back soon. I'm going to try and do weekly videos, like a weekly diary, see how I go. And it's actually really useful for me as well to see what my neurological function, my cognition is like, because looking back at old videos, it's interesting to see what my thinking was. And, because I keep losing my train of thought at the minute, maybe in 2 weeks I can look back and say, no, that was definitely worse, and I'm better now. So yeah, maybe we'll just see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a good New Year so far. Take care, look after yourselves, stay safe, follow all the social distancing rules. That's the only way we're all going to get out of our damn houses. So yeah, take care everyone.